Hello and welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are introducing our set Oh What Fun and its coordinating dies. So let's go ahead and check it out. So first we have this adorable Santa bear sledding in his sleigh and then some snowflakes to help set the scene. We also have a really fun sentiment with Oh What Fun, Merry Christmas. So here I'm using some copic markers to add some colors to these images, and I'm going to be using my reds here. And for the Santa Bear's hat and little outfit there, I'm going to stick towards the lighter reds, and then for the sleigh, I'm going to bring in the R39 to make it a little bit darker to kind of give it a nice contrast. So I'm laying down my lightest, then here I'm laying down my medium, and then I'm going to go in with my lightest and blend it out. And now I'm going to take that darker marker, go around the edge, blend it out with my medium, and then out into my light. And you can see that gives a nice contrast between his outfit and the sled. I'm going to color in the little bear with some light browns, add some warm gray little stripes there to the white areas of his outfit and blend them out with a colorless blender. And then use these two markers, which to me kind of look like a brass or a gold, for the edges of the sleigh. And I think it looks so cute. I love the red and gold together. These are the coordinating dies for the stamp set, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate them. I'm going to line up that die there with my stamp, hold it in place with some low tack tape, and run it through my die cut machine, and then I'll have a perfectly cut out image, which is so super cute. So there you can see that awesome snowflake and the cute little bear in the sleigh. So now it's time to make a card with this cute stamp set, and I wanted to create a double slider surprise card. So I've used my double slider surprise die. I've used the pocket piece of that die to cut some white cardstock and some pattern paper from the Really Rainbow Christmas collection, and I'm going to be using the notch die that comes in that set to die cut a notch from both sides of both of the pocket pieces. Now if you've never put together a double slider surprise card, make sure to check out our intro video to the double slider surprise die. I'll link it in the description below. So now that we have the notches cut from both of our pieces, I'm going to take some 1/8 inch score tape, which is some nice strong tape, and I'm going to put that towards the top of the pocket there above the score line that the die creates for you. So I'm going to add some tape to both of these pieces. And then once we have that tape on there, we'll go ahead and fold along that score line, creating 2 tabs onto our pocket pieces. Once our tabs are folded, we can go ahead and connect these pieces together. So we're trying to form one long piece that's going to be the pocket for our interactive mechanism. So what we're going to do is take 2 of our pieces there and we're going to line them up. We're going to butt the pieces up against each other. And then once we have that there, we can remove the liner paper on the adhesive and then fold that right over. So you'll see there, we're going to butt the 2 pieces up against each other and then fold that tab down, and that's going to create one long piece. Once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and set this aside and start working on our panels. So I've cut some panels out of some Really Rainbow Christmas paper and out of some of the sparkle cardstock as well and pixie dust. And I'm going to trim off 3/4 of an inch off that sparkle piece on both the top and the bottom, and that's going to be the snow on my panels. So it looks really cute because it looks like the snow's falling with the pattern paper, and then we have our beautiful glittered snow along the bottom. Then next, I'm going to be using the Simply Celebrate winter stamp set. I'm going to use the trees from that. So I went ahead and stamped and die cut those, and I'm going to attach those trees right over kind of the border between the snowfall paper and my glitter snow. And I think that's looking so super cute. So next up, we're going to take our track piece out. So I used the track die to die cut it from some white cardstock, and I'm going to be using that same 1/8 inch score tape, and I'm going to add that along the very top and the very bottom of my track piece, and then I'm going to flip it over and repeat the same thing. So I'm going to add my tape along the very top and along the very bottom of my track piece. Now the secret ingredient to getting these to work is a plastic bag, and so in this case I have dogs, so I'm going to be using a dog poop bag. So I've gone ahead and cut off the bottom seam and the side seam of the bag, and then I'm going to trim it down to 2¼ inches wide, and it's about 11 inches long, and then I'm going to take my 1/8 inch score tape and add that right along the right edge there of my bag. Then I'm going to take my bag and I'm going to wrap that around my track piece. So I like to line it up there on my grid mat and then put my track piece over it. And then I'm going to go ahead and wrap that bag around just like that. Then I can peel up that liner paper, and then I'm going to attach the other side of the bag to it. And so I'm just going to kind of flip it right over. You want it to be not too tight but not too loose. You're going to attach that right there, and then you can trim off any of the excess. I always then like to take the bag and kind of put it between my hands and make sure that it's moving really nicely along the track. I'm going to take that seam and put it over to the left edge, and then I'm going to take my tape and add some tape right along that seam. Then I'm going to flip the whole thing over and add some tape onto the right side, the opposite side. So I'm going to add that tape right there, and you'll see now I've got tape on the right side on the back and on the left side on the front. So now it's time to attach those cute panels that we worked on earlier. So I'm going to peel up that liner paper there, and then I'm going to take my panel and I'm going to line up the right side of the track with the right side of my panel piece. Then I can go ahead and push down and have it pick up that adhesive and attach it to the bag. Once I have that done, I can flip the whole thing over. I'm going to make sure that that stays lined up there on the right side. I'm going to flip it over and I'll peel up that liner paper, and now I'm going to take my piece there and I'm going to work with the back of my piece since I'm working with the back of my track, and I'm going to line that up the left side of the panel with the left side of the track piece and then push that down. And now you'll see, because we are looking at the back side of it, when you flip it over we look at the front side of both of the panel pieces. So now I'm going to take the whole thing and flip it over, and I'm going to remove the liner paper on the back of the track piece along the top and the bottom. Once I have those pieces removed, then I can work on getting my whole mechanism into that pocket piece that we created earlier. So we'll take that whole mechanism and put that right in there. I like to kind of fit it right into the edge there of that fold, line that right up against the fold, and then I can push down and put it into my pocket, kind of adhering it down in there. Once it's adhered down into the pocket, along the bottom edge there, I can peel up that liner paper and fold my whole tab in. I'm going to make sure not to grab those panels there when I fold it in. I want those panels to move freely. And then I can remove the liner paper along the top and the bottom and close my entire pocket shut. And that's going to create this mechanism. So now you'll see when we pull on the pieces, they're going to slide in and out, which is so cool. So now it's time to decorate. So I cut another panel piece out of that sparkle cardstock, and I'm die cutting that with a stitched hillside border, and then I can go ahead and add that with some adhesive to the front there. So we'll kind of have a nice little snowy hill that then is extending with our cool scene extension on our interactive card. I'm going to add my cute little Santa bear there with some foam tape, and then I've die cut and cut some trees there from the Winter Sky set, and I'm going to add some trees to the scene to kind of help coordinate the front of the card with what's going to be coming out with the interactive panels. Then I'm going to stamp the "Oh What Fun" sentiment, which is so cute for the sledding bear, and then I'll use a sentiment banner to die cut that. And then I'll go ahead and add some foam tape to the back of that and add that to the front of my card. Now I wanted my whole interactive piece here to be the same size as my card, so I'm creating a card that's 3 inches by 4¼ inches. I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of my whole pocket piece that I created, and then I can add that card right on the back. And what's so fun about this is now we have this awesome interactive card where it looks like he's sledding through all these trees that are moving, but then you can open it up and you'll be able to write your message on the inside. So I think that's really, really cool, and this card is so much fun. I really think it looks so cool because it really makes it feel like he's just sledding amongst these trees and the trees are just flying by. I was in an interactive card mood, so next up we're going to be recreating a slider card by Megan. So thank you so much, Megan, for letting us recreate the card for the video. I've die cut some blue Jay cardstock with the snowy backdrop, and then I'm going to die cut that again with an outside in stitched rectangle to give it a beautiful stitched edge. And then I'll use that same outside in stitched rectangle to die cut some narwhal cardstock. And then I'm going to use the roof that actually belongs to our scalloped treat box winter house add-on, but we're going to use it on a card front. So I added a couple little white gel pen details there, and then I'm going to use that roof there as a guide as to how I want to trim down what's going to be the bottom of my house that's going to be represented by that light gray cardstock there. So we're going to add that cardstock right onto our piece there, and I'm also going to trim off the angled edge of the roof. That way it lines up nice with the card. So I'll leave the angled edge on the right side, but I'll make it nice and straight on the left side. I've added a bunch of glue with my glue tube there to the back of my piece, and then I'm going to layer that on some white cardstock so it looks like white snow and stars are peeking through that beautiful blue sky. Now here I have one of my slide on over dies, and you'll see there that I'm kind of trying to decide what's going to look good because we're going to have Santa kind of flying through the air. So I held that in place with some low tack tape, ran it through my die cut machine, and now I have a slider track that's going to help me make this cool interactive card. I'm also going to save that insert piece for later. I added some foam squares there to the end of the roof, and we're going to attach that over, so now it looks like we've got this cool little house going. And then I'm going to stamp out my Oh What Fun there and die cut that with a sentiment banner. And we're going to add that sentiment to the top of the card. Now, to help set the scene, I took out some other favorite holiday stamp sets. So I took out Baaah Humbug and also Toboggan together. So I went ahead and stamped and colored some images from these. And what's really cute about the Toboggan Together deer is I think it's really cute to have the Santa bear being pulled by the reindeer. It's just adorable. So those lights there are from the Baaah Humbug stamp set. And so I'm going to add those to the roof so it looks like it's decorated for Christmas. And then I'm going to cut a little chimney here just by trimming down a little piece of red cardstock, and I'm just going to add that to the house just to kind of continue on with this cute little house feel that we have going on. The Toboggan Together stamp set has that cute little string there, and what I did was I die cut it twice, and I'm going to layer two pieces together to give it a little bit of strength because that's how we're going to connect the sleigh to the reindeer. So I'm just going to layer two pieces of cardstock there, and then we can go ahead and attach both the reindeer and the bear. So I'm going to add a little glue to the back of the bear's paw, and I'm going to attach that string there to the back, and then I'm going to kind of line up and see how I want that deer to be. I made a little tick mark, and I'm just going to trim off any of the excess because I didn't want the deer to be too far away from the sleigh. And then I'll add a little liquid glue to that and attach the two pieces together. So now the Santa bear is attached to the deer with that little string piece. Now I'm going to take my foam tape and I'm going to double it up because the double height really helps the slider work really, really well. Then we'll take that doubled up foam and trim down a nice thin piece that we can add to our penny. Then I'm going to take my little powder tool here and I'm going to add powder all along the edges of that foam tape, taking away any excess stickiness that there might be around that foam. And that's going to help that penny move really, really well in the track. And then I'm going to repeat that again with another penny. You'll see I had a dime there. I didn't realize I had taken out a dime, so I went and found another penny. Then I'm going to add the adhesive to that and then go ahead and take my little powder tool and run it around. And now I'm going to have two pennies in my track. Now I'm going to take off that liner paper and expose the adhesive, and then I can attach the sleigh to the first penny and then the deer to the second penny. And that's going to make it nice and sturdy as it slides through the track. So once I have those lined up perfectly, I can go ahead and press down, and now you'll see how cool this is because Santa's going to be flying off of the roof. It's just so much fun. So now that I have all of that together, it's time to add some foam to the back. So I'm taking that same doubled up foam and I'm going to put that all around the card, making sure to avoid the pennies so that the pennies can move freely. Then I can peel up all of that liner paper and then I'll go ahead and attach that to a blue piece of cardstock there, just like that. Now remember that slider track piece that we saved earlier? That's because I want to be able to put it right into that track and make it look like the stars and the snow are continuous. So I added a little liquid glue there and I'm just going to feed it right into the track right underneath those pennies. And you'll see it's going to make it look really continuous, like you can barely see that track even there. And I think it's just so fun. It looks so cool. So next up, I'm going to be creating a standard size card base out of some white cardstock that's 5.5 by 4.25 inches. And then I can go ahead and add some adhesive to my whole interactive panel and add that onto the card base, giving us a nice little white border around the card. Now to finish it up, I thought that chimney was looking a little plain, so I'm taking a red marker here and I'm just creating some fake bricks with my marker. So I'm just making some little rounded rectangles, just kind of freehanding it, and you'll see how cute that is. It really adds a little extra finishing touch to that chimney there. And now you can see how cute is that with the Santa flying off the roof. I just think it's absolutely adorable. It's so cool to use a die that was meant for this kind of 3D house on a card front. And I just love the fun interactive element and combining a bunch of my old favorite stamp sets with some of my new favorite stamp sets. So next up we have some amazing cards by the design team, and this card here by Audrey is so gorgeous. I love her little scalloped frame and the craft with the red is so beautiful. This scene by Elena is stunning. I love that blue sky and how he's flying through the air. It's just adorable. I love Kay's color palette here and how he's sledding down the hill, and that circle right there on her card is just so cool. And then this scene by Lizzie is absolutely adorable. I love how she used the snowfall backdrop with him. Here's the card by Megan that inspired us to make our card today, so thank you so much, Megan. And then this card by Elise is so sweet. I love her sentiment with the "Have a Very Merry Christmas." Oh my goodness, it's just adorable. I love how Yanea combined Winter Bunny with Oh What Fun. How cute are those two together? And then this card by Lynette is just beautiful. I love how she used that rainbow snowflake paper and highlighted her little bear on the inside. And then this slider by Kristen is so much fun. I love that glitter detail. So I cannot wait to see what you guys do with Oh What Fun, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!